Probably going to ask you an obvious question, but maybe not a lot of people here in the United States know the answer. And I was wondering, how did you first meet Sly and Robbie, and how did you get to where you are today, touring with them on the
I met Sly and Robbie after my first movie, Dancehall Queen, which they did. They had music for the soundtrack on that one. It was really cool. We were kind of introduced by my manager. I mean, he's still my manager now, and now he also manages Sly and Robbie. So we got in the studio, and the first real big test was working on a group called Innocent Screw album, and Sly gave me a drum beat. The beat had no guitars, no nothing on it, and he said to me, you know, I've given this to a bunch of singers, you know, songwriters. I'm looking for a melody, a chorus on something, but I want something hot, like I want it current, you know. So I was like, okay, let me see if I could pull something off. I wrote the song, he loved it, and then I ended up writing on about 7 more cuts on their album, and ever since then, you know, it's just been, I guess that was my test to see if I could come up with anything. And then we've just had,
so that's been for about 10 years you've been working with them?
Yeah, because it was right after Dancehall Queen. It's been about, so I was in high school working with Sly and Robbie, and I mean, that's like a dream, dream come true. But it's funny because at the time, like, I knew the name Sly and Robbie. I knew they were like big producers, but I didn't know a lot of their work. You know, it was that whole generation gap. By then I was on to Lady Saw and Spragga Benz and whatever dancehall artists were at that time. But then, I mean, it just really opened up my world musically. Because then, I mean, I've worked with like Toots and, you know.
How about Bunny Wailer?
I haven't worked.
Since you're speaking of dancehall.
No, I haven't worked with Bunny Wailer yet, but that would be really, really cool.
Yes.
You know, but Sly and Robbie and I have worked on so many projects together right now, it's hard to count, you know. More recently, we did the remix to Madonna's second single that's out now, Give It To Me. Oh. So I'm on that. I also did.
Is that out now?
That it is out now, and it's available on iTunes.
iTunes? Oh.
Yeah.
Give It To Me?
Give It To Me, which there's an official dancehall remix done by Sly and Robbie, and the song it's Madonna featuring me. Oh. So it's cool. There's also, we did a Britney Spears remix to Piece of Me, which I'm also on. And about a year ago, we did Paul McCartney. It was myself, Lady Saw, and Sizzla on a Paul McCartney dancehall mix. So, you know, you can always have dreams of what you want your career to be like, but some of this stuff you don't even know how to imagine.
Yes.
You know, like, not that it's gonna happen in a year or 10 years or even in your whole career. So it's been a real blessing working with them, and just having them be so amazing at what they do and then trust me to deliver and to be a part of what they do is really, really cool. To bring my whole dancehall soul vibe into something that they have already, you know, they've already done, they've already toured, they've already created. And just to kind of be introduced to the reggae market as, yeah, this is Cherine Anderson, she's a new singer, we endorse this, is just a humbling feeling.
I know that you were in the movie Dancehall Queen that came out in 1997, Jamaica movie. And I was wondering if that's where you got your start in your career, maybe your acting career. And then I also know that you were in the movie One Love after Dancehall Queen. And so perhaps you could talk a little bit about your involvement in both of those movies.
Right. Well, I started in the industry as an actress. So Dancehall Queen was my first film, and I played the role of Tanya in Dancehall Queen. And then a couple of years later, I did One Love, where I played this Christian singing daughter of a pastor, I mean, co-starring with Kimani Marley. So I really did start in the industry as an actress, and that's kind of how Jamaica and the Caribbean, and essentially the world, in terms of people who are very affiliated with Caribbean culture, got to know Cherine. I was the little girl in the movies. But I've always been singing. I've been singing probably for really longer than I've been acting. I was a part of a company called Ashe, and that was a musical theater company, and that's where my initial training was. I danced, I was a songwriter, I was a singer, and an actress back in that company, and it just kind of basically helped me develop and hone my skills to take on a solo career. So Yeah.
As a singer?
As a singer, actress, and songwriter.
Well, do you have any plans to do any acting in the future?
And we are looking at scripts, because I've had a couple of scripts since One Love, but I really made a commitment to the music right now. Like, my EP comes out in 2 weeks, and that will be available on iTunes. The EP is called The Introduction, and if people visit like my MySpace page, myspace.com/CHERINEANDERSON, they'll be able to access like the music and information on the EP. And the EP comes out before the album, Kingston State of Mind. That's the name of my album, and that will be out, I want to say later this year, but it may be even early 2009, because there's so much going on with the EP right now that I kind of want people to really be introduced to Cherine, because we have some real heavy material coming on the album. So.